And welcome back. Okay, so because this last 2 day, what I've done so far is to make a huge overview on the last model on getting started building a freelance consulting career, then getting started as a business consultant, and place where you can find and land high-paying consulting clients. So right now, okay, because in this last model, where I saw is once you know what consulting business is, you align yourself with a niche, a profitable niche, and then you craft your offer. Now it's time to put all of those in practice to get some real feedback from the market. And there are a couple mistakes to avoid, especially as you're starting out, or when you find and land this client. Like focus too much in your portfolio, and the reason of that is because you need is to create. So you need to first find your client and ultimately create the output they want, so you can over time build your portfolio. Uh, and the other is pay running ads. This is something or the mistake to avoid, because since you don't have your entire process worked out, then you need to do that organically. Find the right client, uh, or find the client and then do that organically to provide the value for them. Uh, so because you don't have that entire process worked out, it's not a good idea to start running pay ads. And the other is not focusing on your skills, because ultimately that's what your uh, that's what clients will use for to decide they want to work with you. And your reputation precedes you, and especially I, as a business consulting freelancer, or as a Node.js developer, which is the first things I'm going to do is to provide this service, and then instead of providing it a service, then try to sell is a business. But again, this is something that will gain some traction over the years, uh, because something that Alex Almost mentioned, this CEO at acquisition.com, where he mentioned that most business are worthless, and that's one of the reasons why they don't end up selling them. Uh, and because my idea here is align myself with this market to put to to make it easy for my older being, or my older me, or me from the future. Uh, I just want to make them. I just want to put easy from for the me from the future. That's what I'm doing here, right? And so then, yeah. So I also look at the place where I can, or the one once you're starting out, especially if you're new to the field. Tell the client that even though that you don't have experience in the field, you are driven to provide exceptional results to build your image as a consultant. And perhaps you want to adjust your price by lowering or offering a lower options. And the idea here is to reach some mutual beneficial agreement while also being transparent. So then I look at the place where we can find and land high-paying consulting clients like Upwork, your existing network. This is very, very contextual, especially from scenarios like South America or any of from the emerging economies, quote, quote, where this kind of opportunity, this kind of business opportunity are very, very, very limited. Uh, and the other are employment sites. So even though that this doesn't align with the business freelancer service, it can help you to capitalize yourself as you move on. Uh, and from there, you can down the road start to offering your business consulting freelancer. So I also look at the consultation tips or the tips for land more additional clients, like show your face and remember the client. You need to make sure that the client know the distinction between yourself and your digital avatar, and that this is a numbers game. And ask yourself, what am I doing right now? Am I putting myself in the best possible position to move forward? And then I started to look at the consultation sell tips to land more clients or high paying clients. And because this is the field of sales, okay? And Paul Mendes mentioned as well, listen more is one of these consultation sell tips. Use speed, use solution selling process, and add free value. So the idea here is that see yourself as the missing piece to complete the client puzzle, to solve the problem. And the idea of doing that, or the way of doing that, is by following the solution selling process. So this is when you find the right client, do the prospect journey. Once you find the right client, try to get their attention, try to get it start or no, issues. Try to get their attention, try to get in front of them. To do that, and then you qualify. So once you have a list of clients or prospects or sell leads, then you qualify them by asking questions to see if you are the person that can provide the value or you can work with them. And then you do a demo discovery call. This is to even do more fact findings about the client and ultimately tell them, can we move forward with this, or this is going to end right there so I can move on to the next project, right? Uh, so ultimately, once you reach to some sort of agreement with the client, uh, this is when you send the proposal and add value. So the client say, hey, awesome, send me some information more about it. And that you this is when you compile all of your expertise and suggestions, and you offer a set of options of different price. So the idea is that Paul Mendes mentioned that using this solution selling process uh, to help you as you move on in your journey, because you can get quickly burned out and unmotivated. So with this consultation selling and also looking at the solution selling process, where this is uh, a methodology designed developed by Frank Watts in 1975 at once one of the largest computer manufacturing in the world. Yeah, I barely know that. Uh, so then he showed these methods to EBN and Xerox, where uh, After that, he created his own agency to teach people about the solution selling process. And this works for any business to business that have some self methods that include is or where you have sell leads or prospect that need a tailored solution. This is something. This is part of the key. This is part of the key because this is something I'm going to bind that with Alex or nothing. So, and you might wonder, where in the fucking hell did you get that? Right? You may wonder that. It's like, where in the fucking hell did you get that? Right? And the source here is this. What is this? Is this? So Cranwell is this company that have a blog site talking about the solution selling process, right? And this is something. All of this is here. What I have mentioned, and it was originally developed by Frank Watts in 1975 and put into practice at one laboratory. So one was the largest computing manufacturer in the world. So you may wonder, it's like, man, you copy and paste that. So you have a you have that tattoo in your mind. Uh, the reason of what I've learned this is because this is the entry point of understanding where it comes and uh, the reason of why it exists, okay, and what's later presented this methodology as a consultant at Zero Corporation in 1982. And in 1993, Mike Bosworth, another sales consultant, founded a sales training agency under the name Solution Selling, right? And then, well, they started to sell this methodology, right? So, yes, the solution selling method, okay, is used when you have any business to business sell process whereby you got a prospect or sell leads and a client that need a tailored solution, whether a product or server, rather than something off the shelf that doesn't require a sales strategy or process to sell. This is one of the things that Alex almost mentioned, is that most businesses are worthless, according to him, right? Most businesses are worthless because they're starting to offer service tailored. They're starting to offer tailored service for all of their clients that are not scalable, and that's the another concept here. So you have the solution selling process, which is, well, to diagnose the need of a prospect and yeah, it diagnose the prospect needs and then recommends the right product or service to face the challenge they're having, right? Uh, so that is a solution selling process. So it works in any business to business sell process where you gotta sell leads, prospect, and clients that need a tailored solution. Tailored solution. This is the usability, okay, for one of the most common use case. And what happened is that as you creating this tailored solution, the more you do it for each one of those clients, is less scalable. So uh, that's one of the things that most of this uh, business fail, uh, according to just paraphrasing what Alex almost mentioned. So the idea here is to try to understand that, to conciliate with that, especially if you're going to be a business owner. I don't know if I'm going to be a business owner. Who knows? Maybe, who knows? But right now, what I'm doing here is just to try to understand uh, this instead of attacking that, instead of being uh, instead of feel good about attacking that without understanding the reason. You know what I mean? Uh, because well, hate is something cool, but there's a moment when you say, okay, why am I still hating this? You know, it's like, okay, why am I still dedicating all of my energy and attention to this? Right? So why do I hate the capitalist? Why do I hate business? What is my narrative that I have, that I hold right now, and what are those narrative or concepts or the history, specifically that, what is the history of having this type or this kind of concept? And once I started to do that, it's like, oh, okay, I'm starting to understand the reason of why it exists, and what will be the potential use case or the scenarios where you can apply this, which is something that most anthropologists, well, I'll argue that most anthropologists are so excessively focused on context, and that's one of the things that to me resonate the most, because it's like that is you think that all of your process and methodologies applies to anyone, but you are not consider is their own material condition, for example, or their own particularly parameters, life conditions, environments, uh, historical and socio-economical background, whatever, you know. And for you, or in my case, is for me as an individual, it is very, very important to kind of slowly develop that, to understand that, so you can later on decide what the do you want to do, or I want to do. Okay, so this is this huge uh, overview or this long tangent of the conversation, but yes. So once I look at this, all right, and uh, so right now is looking at what will be, so what I could do to try to offering something that can be usable in a particular niche. Okay, perhaps offering as a consultant, right? Perhaps offering as a consultant. So offering templates is one of the is one of a great business model right now, especially here in this digital era, right? You offering a template, and then you start to selling that templates to your customers, whatever whatever platform you want to use, right? Whatever platform you want to use. So you sell is templates to that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That might be one thing. That might be one way of doing that. You know, that might be one way of doing that. Mm-hmm. Question is that is scalable? You know, is that is scalable? Or not even that. It's like you have to do that first. You have to do that first and see if that's something that well you the market wants, or and I mean, and you need to have, of course, financial strength. You need to have a financial strength. Uh, and then, well, Paul Mendes mentioned that yes, so half the battle is to tackle objection and to determine and define and know what's the real objection. And this is all about asking the right questions, so be on point. and listen more, because once you're able to identify as the real objections, you can tell the client the truth that matters, that you have the solution to their problems. And if they want, for example, raise some other objections, that most of the time all of objection can be boiled down into time, budget, and value. So if value is an objection, so you can show your past experience. If um, if budget is another objection, so you may offer is a lower option for that, and always following up. So the idea here is that to let the client, or so the client needs to think of you, and you have to be on top of their mind, especially to solve this problem. Now, the other is to get creative to stand out. I didn't know that recording this kind of video will make me stand out. I don't know if recording this kind of video will stand out. However, what I'm doing here is improving my communicational skills, analytical skills, and technical, and at real time. You know, because one thing is that you do that. Perhaps you send an email to clients, and then when you have this uh, video conference, you talk in a way that you barely are able to pronunciate words or organize ideas. It's like no. That's the other reason why I'm doing this. Well, strengthen your portfolio, right? So protect your reputation at all costs in order to have the most success. So strengthen your portfolio, and remember that your reputation is everything in this context. Then I look at how to handle client payment, especially because you want to take control of that from the very beginning and avoid some common gotchas and problems that most freelancer or consulting may in the process. This is a process of how to invoice clients with no surprise. First, define your service agreement, okay? And inside of this service agreement, never guarantee any result. Only put that you're going to provide the best effort to guarantee a high quality output. And the other is define is the payment terms uh, in any additional fee that occur that is something out of the scope, and the client wants something out of the scope, they need to pay you. Uh, so once you create your service agreement, get that service agreement signed, and then secure payments based on the terms and conditions. It's all about whatever service agreement you reach to the client. So what are you providing to the client? The size of the project, the length of the project. The idea here is by securing the payment based on the term, whether it is if you're starting to offer is a hourly rate, you want to get that payment secure weekly or bi-weekly. In my case, I will go weekly, uh, or per milestone. Okay, and if that, you may tell to the client, hey, I would like, or I need is 50% upfront. And if the client come with an excuse, you have to tell them that you can start working on the project without that payment secure, right? So this is the uh, process of how to invoice client. And then the freelance websites for versus personal invoice and things like that. So forth. for example, Upwork, freelance, and Fiverr. I am quite familiar to Upwork, right? And then I have the personal invoice as well, like PayPal, QuickBooks, and Soho. I have worked with Soho over the last almost 3 years, and you need to get serious about money. You don't want to get ripped off by the market. This is very important. You don't want to get ripped off by the market, so get serious about money. Then I look at the example invoice, something that I'm not going to dive deep into that, and talking about another concept when I mentioned about is the solution selling process and what is the use case of the solution selling process and the reason of having this kind of business or any business. So the next step you want to take on your consulting journey. So once you landed some additional clients, you know how to send service agreement proposals. You know how to secure payments and clients, and you started to have some progress. You have to remember that scale to multiple clients is the ultimate goal, the growth or scalability. This is how you grow your business and you will turn into a steady flow of income because technology aligns very well to scalability. For example, something called like big O notation, uh, you know, something like big O notation, where it's a mathematical notation that describes. Let's going to read the Wikipedia article, but it's a mathematical notation that describes the limiting behavior of a function when the argument tends toward to a particular value or infinite. So, in other words, is that how, in the case of the context of computer science, is that how will it take, or how long it will take an algorithm to handle certain type of input. Okay, so for example, order. The search algorithm. Okay. No. Okay. Search algorithm. So how long an algorithm will take as the input increase, right? And in this case, here you have, for example, is for search algorithm. What we're going to see is the for quantum backwards linear search problem. This is one of them. What I would like to look is at the search algorithm for this website or from this website here. So for example here, so based on this input and this 9 element here, how long it will take to find a particular element, all right? Or using another algorithm, how long it will take again to find a particular item. In this case is 23. So because of the technology in this big notation has aligned very closely to business, all right? So technology is again, after all, you need people for that. But technology is something that is widely aligned to business, to the concept of scalability. And now I understand it's like, oh, okay, okay. That's one of the reasons of this upswing or this boom in a tech economy, and also a boom or a bubble that happened in the 2000 with the dot-com bubble. But the idea was like that. It's like, hmm. But in any case, uh, so that's why I'm looking at this, and so yeah, so scaling to multiple consulting clients, right? So the next steps you want to take is on your consultation journey. Once you landed some additional client, so far I'm still looking. So once you landed some additional client, you know how to send service agreement, you know how to secure payments, and you have started to have some progress. You have to remember that scale to multiple clients is the ultimate goal. This is how you grow your business and you'll turn into a steady flow of income. Because once you have multiple clients paying you in multiple different companies, different industry, let's say that will help you diversify your revenue and you also have multiple sources of income. So the idea here is that instead of offering is a customer or a custom or a tailored solution to each one of those clients, you create a tailored solution that cover most of this use case that the client has, right? That's another way. So it's instead of creating this multi-tool or this Swiss Army, Swiss, how do you say that in Swiss? Swiss, Swiss knife? Is that right? Yeah, instead of using this, instead of creating Swiss Army knife instead of creating Army knife for the Swiss, uh, the U.S., Brazil, Argentina, Venezuela, France, China, Australia, you create just one Army knife that cover most of the combat scenario. Okay, that makes a lot of sense. And if they want more tailored solutions, that's where they have to pay a huge amount of money. Okay, so that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, okay. And this is something that it can go with the. Mhm. And this is something that it can go with that, you know. hmm Okay, this is something that it can go with that. So because once you have multiple clients, exactly. So one key to scale your business is simple: deliver a top quality product. Remember that your reputation is everything, and people spend on things that they trust and like. This is a very oversimplification, but yes, you need to deliver a top quality product that cover the major use case, and remember that your reputation is everything. That's one of the things that product that product that has been aligned to the seven original sin. All right, uh, the seven deadly sins. All right, like lust, gluttony, greed, sloth, wrath, envy, pride, has uh, evolved and continue to exist right now. So we have Facebook, Tinder, TikTok, uh, you name it. So Alibaba. And the associate is with they associate the lion with wrath. The hell? What the hell? What? For really? Okay, there it is. But yeah. So and also is log everything you do specifically in your business. Remember that referrals are the key to success. Okay, and then you have the customer relationship management. Again, this is may use some tools to keep track or for every interaction that you have in the business. The idea here is to build in this business relationship. And if you struggle with it, remember that it's all about getting leads. And don't forget to repeat this process. So, again, I'm going to give conclusion to all of that. Since I made this huge overview of this last model, where to find and land high-paying consulting clients, and also link with uh, other sources like Alex Hormozzi, and to kind of develop this idea of how to create a business and ultimately do that. Just do that. So with that, I will see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.